All right, Shalom. First and foremost, as always, I want to give all praises, honor, and the glory to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Harakakwadash, and of course, as always, double honors to our apostles and our elders that rule well at Great Millstone. Salutations to all you sincere Akim that are preaching this word in all truth and sincerity. And Shalom to you few Aquathium sisters out there that believe in Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. So this is just a quick one. All right, inspired, motivated me in the spirit of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. I was at work and I had seen an Edomite, straight up fucking devil, elderly, old ass red Edomite devil. And he had on a camouflage skull cap or a baseball cap. And you could just see it in his spirit that he owns rifles, he owns weapons. And you could tell that in his spirit, by looking at him, he was one of those original combative Edomites, all right? He had a whole, hunter, ex-military look to him. And these are indicators of who the Edomites are. So this is Genesis 25 and 19. And these are the generations of Isaac, Abraham's son. Abraham begat Isaac. And Isaac was 40 years old when he took Rebekah to wife, the daughter of Bethuel, the Syrian of Padanaram, the sister to Laban the Syrian. And Isaac entreated Yahweh for his wife because she was barren. And Yahweh was entreated of him, and Rebekah, his wife, conceived. And the children struggled together within her. And she said, if it be so, why am I thus? And she went to inquire of Yahweh. And Yahweh said unto her, two nations are in thy womb, and two manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels. And the one people shall be stronger than the other people, and the elder shall serve the younger. And when her days to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her womb. Now, as it says, these twins would be two separate nations, okay, two manner of different peoples. All right? And it's going to go on to say, and the first came out red all over, like an hairy garment. And they called his name Esau, the firstborn. The elder, okay, came out first red all over, like a hairy garment. And it doesn't necessarily mean that Esau was hairy, but back in the ancient world, they would take, garments of goats. They would make garments of goats, I should say. The fabric, the material of goats, which is very rough, rugged, hairy, and they would dye them red. Okay? So it's equating the pigmentation and the way Esau came out as those, dyed garments. Because when Esau was born, he was totally translucent, red. And that's where you get the indicator of Esau Edom today. All right, nobody on the earth is white or black. You're all different shades of brown, and you have different shades of red. Okay. And Esau was the first, red being. All right. Now you could really say it was Cain. Okay, but after the flood, all right, it was Esau, Edom. And you do have Israelites, that come out in different hues of red as well. But this is an indicator of who the devil is, because he's going around the globe proclaiming himself to be the white man, to being white, when synonyms of white is holy, righteous, and he is far from that. Okay? It says, and after that came his brother out, and his hand took hold on Esau's heel, and his name was called Jacob, and Isaac was 80 years old when she bare them. So Isaac was 60 years old, okay, when his wife conceived and bare those children. Now, if you notice, it does not give you an indicator of what Jacob looked like, his appearance. Okay, because Jacob came out looking normal, like everybody else on the earth. Melanated, okay, pigmented, all right, brown, okay. And the boys grew, and Esau was a cunning hunter, a man of the field, and Jacob was a plain man, dwelling in tents. So as it clearly says, Esau was a cunning hunter. All right, that's the spirit of these Edomites. And yes, you do have Israelites that do like to hunt. They called the tribe of Gad, the so-called Native Americans, which are Israelites, they called them hunter-gatherers. Okay? But this spirit of being a cunning hunter is the spirit of Esau, Edom. All right. It goes back to their forefather. And it reflects to this day. Because although you do have the tribe of Gad that were considered hunter-gatherers, they ain't really honing those attributes today like they did. That was a way of survival. All right. You had a lot of the tribes of Gad, North American Indians, such as the Lakota, Comanche, and they were fierce warriors, and they lived mainly in the plains, and what they hunted was bison. Okay. The bison, the American bison, is a American buffalo. All right, you got buffalo, different parts of the earth, but the American buffalo is called a bison. Okay, and they would hunt those and use every part of that creature for necessities. Okay, for their survival. But now you don't got the tribes really out there hunting like that. Maybe as a sport, or as a sport or a hobby. Okay. But we don't, these Edomites, okay, they be doing that thing as an inner trait. Because that goes back to their forefather, Esau, Edom. All right. And once again, back here in verse 26, it says that Esau came out first. It says, and after that came his brother out, and his hand took hold on Esau's heel, and his name was called Jacob. Because Esau, okay, is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of the world that followeth. So Esau's going down. All right, the self-proclaimed white man is going down, and we're going to rule the world next in righteousness. Okay. Now this is Obadiah 1 and 9. And I'm going to just get to the point. I'm on my break and I got to go. It says, and thy mighty men, O Teman, shall be dismayed to the end that every one of the mountain of Esau may be cut off by slaughter. For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. So Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai is preparing this devil unto blood for all the violence, okay, that they've dished out to the Israelites, you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. All right, the transatlantic slave trade. Okay, hanging our people on ropes, lynching us, hanging us from trees, feeding our babies to alligators. Okay, to sharks, chopping up the pregnant Taino woman's stomach, taking the baby out, stomping the baby to death. These are things that this devil did to us as a people, man. And he's going to pay for it. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai is building this devil up to make a complete riddance of this guy, to put him to an open shame. Okay? To humble this fucking devil. And not in the sense of this guy repenting, but totally, humiliating this guy. Showing him that he ain't shit. And he's going to do that with the judgments that are coming real soon. Nuclear war. And also the elect of Israel receiving spiritual power to put these devils into captivity. All right, for his violence against us, man. But nevertheless, these are indicators of who this devil is. And I was inspired once again by this devil at work, this proud ass demon that I seen, okay, still in the spirit of his forefather, of his patriarch. So with that, all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem our Kakwadash. Double honors to our apostles and our elders that rule well at Great Millstone. Till next time, Shalom.